I don't know how is it for you, but for me, being a documentary filmmaker and cinematographer is a lot about, experiencing the world, stepping outside of my comfort zone, meeting new peoples, new cultures, and immersing myself in these experiences. But it wasn't always like that. A few years back, I was working in a corporate company as an in-house videographer, and I was really struggling with making videos and making content that didn't feel purposeful. That was just promoting a product that I wouldn't even believe in, and I know how draining that can be, and I know how much doubt it can create in your mind whether you've decided for the right career path. But luckily, I'm no longer in that place, and so in today's video I want to help you navigate your career so that you can get hired internationally and that you can start creating films that are purposeful and that truly matter to you. At the end of this video, you will have a clear idea of how to get those international jobs in. So let's just jump straight into it. If I look back at my journey, I know that I was very intentional about my choices from the beginning. And so the first step to actually getting hired internationally is to set the intention. I think this is an important step because this is where you ask questions about why do you actually want to do it. And you should be able to really critically think about, is this just a desire because you see other people doing it? Or is this something that is coming from within you? Is it something that your heart or your being is desiring? And once you can find this reasoning behind why you want to do it, then it gives you a compass, because you will be able to take steps that will lead you directly to that outcome from now on. But if your why is not strong enough, in a few months or a few years, you might get tempted by something else and you might kind of step away from that journey. So set the intention from the beginning. Think about why you want to be working internationally, why you want to be traveling, why you want to be telling stories from, far corners of the world, and then use that as a compass for your actions. So step number 2 is fairly straightforward, and it's about portfolio. I used to have a limiting belief that in order to be hired internationally, I first need to have international work under my belt. And partially it's true that having international work helps, but of course you first need to have some sort of work. And so think about the type of projects that you could be creating anywhere in the world. Documentaries are a great example. Films for organizations or for non-for-profits are another example. High-end looking interviews, if you work in a corporate and if you're able to shoot that type of interviews, that's a very transferable skill and portfolio piece for documentary productions. So don't live in a limiting belief that you suddenly need to travel abroad and create a film abroad and then use it to pitch your future projects or pitch that as a portfolio to production companies. It is great, but it's not necessary. Rather, as I said, think about the films that you can create where you are, and that can then be used to help you get hired for international productions. Before I continue with the next steps, I just wanted to express a deep gratitude to you for watching these videos. The channel has been growing quite well in the past few months, and the more people I can help, the more motivated I am to create these videos. So once again, thank you. If apart from tutorials, you would also like to be a part of a community, then I encourage you to join my free WhatsApp group. There's currently more than 350 filmmakers from all over the world, and it's a place of connection where you can ask questions, you can get feedback on your work. As I said, it's free and the link is in the description of this video. So step number 3, and this is an important one, is networking. Because if you don't have a solid network, then there's a very little chance that someone will recommend you to another director, to another production company, or to another producer. And so really working on your network in a way that supports that international connections and international friendships is a key. For me personally, I know that without my network, I wouldn't be where I am. And I also know that I've been actively trying to build my network over the past few years. Whether I lived in Switzerland, in Spain, in Argentina for a few months, or in Indonesia currently, I've always been trying to build a network and community. And the way I network is pretty simple. For me, whether I network online or offline, it's always about first figuring out if me and the person on the other side has a human connection. If, you talk to that person and you can imagine that person being your friend in the long run, then I usually try to build that and nourish that relationship, but nourishing it from a point of friendship. So trying to be helpful, trying to offer value, and just trying to be there for people. So that the networking relationships, whether that's friendships or professional, are based on reciprocity. I help you, you help me, we help each other, but there's no expectations. Alright, step number 4 is very simple, and that's just about being a nice human being. It's about making sure that you don't bring unnecessary stress to the environment, making sure that you're easy to work with, making sure that you're bringing positivity rather than problems into the set or into the productions, making sure that you're a problem solver. So if there are problems, you are ready to solve them and you see possibilities or solutions rather than obstacles. And then of course, make sure that you're professional. If someone hires you, make sure that you put in 110% and that you really show the production or the director or the producer that you care about this project and that you're there to make it succeed. This is something that will get you hired over and over, because once people find out that you're such a pleasure to work with, then they will recommend you to other people and they will hire you again. And then the last tip, guys, and this is something that, not everyone talks about, but it has really helped me, is personal branding. We live in a world where our identities or part of our identities are built online. And so sharing online what you're working on, what you're passionate about, your portfolio, what type of person you are, can be really beneficial to then creating that online persona who people want to connect with. If I give you an example, the fact that I'm sharing stuff on YouTube here, not only I am helping younger filmmakers or aspiring filmmakers and cinematographers to walk that journey and to maybe learn from the mistakes that I did or try to share some of my knowledge, but I'm also creating an image of someone who is trying to provide value, who's putting the work in, whether that's on set or in this kind of YouTube personality. And this way, once people Google you, it's not only about going to your website and seeing your portfolio, but they can also watch videos of you and they can understand what type of person you are, what type of energy you're bringing to the table. And I must say that this has really helped me getting hired in the past few years, because then people might hire me and they will say, oh, I actually feel like I know you because I saw this video. And so don't be afraid to share yourself authentically with the world. I know that it can be challenging, but over time, it actually becomes very rewarding. Now, just a quick recap. So number 1, set your intention why you actually want to be working internationally and traveling the world for productions. Number 2, portfolio. Create a portfolio that represents your style, your voice, and your best work so that you can get hired for it. Number 3, network. Make sure that you're putting effort into actively networking and building long-lasting relationships with the people in the industry. Number 4, be a good human being, be a pleasure to work with, be a problem solver. And number 5, make sure that you're building your personal brand, because down the line in the future, I think the people that will get the work are the people that will be on the platforms and that will have some sort of a media presence, and building a personal brand is a part of it. So these are the steps that I have observed that worked in my own career, and I hope that they can also help you on your own path. Now, if you would like to see what goes into a solo spec documentary production in Nepal, then check the 3-episode series I shot in April. There's a lot of knowledge and a lot of insight into the process and into the whole experience, and I think that you will find a lot of value in there. Now that's it from me for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.